Welcome back to Just Another Solar Podcast, brought to you by our friends at GoodWe. My name is Nigel, and I'll be your host for today. Joining us, as usual, Mr. Carl Jensen. Carl, I hear it's cold in Victoria.
But it's been a smashing sunny day today, Nigel.
Has
So
it?
that makes it all better. As for the rest of the week, I haven't really seen it because I've been sick as anything.
Billy-o. Billy-o is the word you were looking for.
Sick as Billy-o, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because we never swear on this podcast, right?
Yeah. I was thinking sick as a dog, but no dog
that's
was that sick.
Wow. Oh, that's no good.
Awesome. Fun times.
Yeah, we've had a miserable week here in Sydney too. The only good part about miserable, cloudy weather is my South Road performs much better in this kind of weather. When it's bright and sunny, but it's winter, it's in total shade. I had the drone up on the weekend, getting ready for the tree pruning exercise that's about to happen. Got the go ahead from next door, but yeah, boy, I'm really noticing it as we passed the winter solstice last week. So it's all upside from here, people. It's just going to get better and better now.
Still got a long time of July's just as crappy for yield as June. August, it jumps up pretty stoutly.
Yes, you're right. It's the bottom of the solar winter for us all. Jessica McPherson's here with the biggest cup I've ever seen. That's enormous.
This is my emotional support drink bottle. I love this drink bottle, dude. It just saves me having to get up twice, you know.
It's 8 liters of yogurt or something.
Nah, it's just purple.
It's just okay.
I actually don't know. I think it's got to be at least 1.5 liters. I don't even know if it says it on here, but it's good. It's very, very good. Well, that's what everyone's come here to listen to me talk about my drink bottle.
That's right.
Kids got one of those and it tapers down so that it fits in a cup holder in your car. But that's just kind of weird.
Okay, so Jessica's having a good time in South Australia, setting the world on fire, drinking from her giant cup. What else is going on?
Sunny day here as well. Great day for solar. Leads have obviously died down a bit. We've talked about it a few times, but I don't know. I feel like sales are still strong. Like there's still a lot of people who want the right size battery for them, and it's sort of settled people down a little bit now that we're really feeling how this rebate change is, has fit in. It's not really too much affected how I'm designing systems, I don't think, which is good. Which is very good. It's good to be busy.
20 to 30% down is the sort of average number that I'm hearing around the traps, which, as I said to someone the other day, oh yeah, okay, you're 20 to 30% down, but let me guess, you're still a long way ahead of where you were a year or two ago when you weren't attaching batteries to 100% of what you're selling, right? And he said, yeah, you're right there. It's a different world now.
The only thing that's stress is probably not quite the right word, but on our mind is that as recently a lot of manufacturers have dropped their pricing, it means that, like when all your profit margins and things like that are percentages, the number of, if we look at what the average number of systems we need to sell, or the amount of work we can do in a day or whatever to get to the kind of dollars that we are looking for to run a sustainable, healthy business, it means more installs. It means more, it means more jobs essentially, and trying to just really balance that out and make sure we're ready to go for that, for where that's sitting.
Margin percentage versus margin dollars that you need to pay the bills, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's always a juggle for all businesses.
Oh, that's a fun one. So I went and saw a young bloke. Let's call it Pakenham. Wasn't quite Pakenham, a different suburb, but let's call it Pakenham to hide his identity. But quite young in the solar industry, and he said, it's fiercely competitive out here, and I'm only making $1,000 a job, and I had to sit him down and beat the shit out of him and tell him that making $1,000 out of a job is absolutely not okay, and that is not how to run a sustainable business. And he needs to figure out a better way to be able to sell his skills and expertise than just $1,000.
$1,000, yeah, that's a overly simplistic way of building a business empire, I think, right?
Look, I get it. People got to work harder and work for less and so on and so forth to build their name and their reputation and so on and so forth. But these are really expensive products. And at the end of the day, even basic troubleshooting for a few hours on site, a firmware update that goes sideways or any of these things, you've done your $1,000 twice.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a big week for announcements too. We don't have an announcement yet, but we're certainly approaching an announcement for 500,000 batteries under the Cheaper Home Battery Program. That's not too far away. I think the current count's about 420, 440,000 that have been installed just in the new program. Plus, we had more than 100,000 already installed prior to that before this program. But we're on the way to 500,000. So we are expecting something to pop up in the press there. We were involved in the launch last week of interest-free loans in New South Wales,
That's
which was
fantastic, Nige.
pretty big news.
Yeah,
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, up to $15,000 for eligible homeowners, noting that you must earn less than $210,000 a year. So it's a pretty low income for someone who is trying to live in Sydney, where one of the world's most expensive cities. But that's exactly where it's targeted at. It's targeted at people. And in fact, I spoke to a friend the other day who is a single mum. Owns her own house, but she's battling along, and she's eligible for it. And she said, "This is going to be life changing for me because I've always wanted solar, but I just haven't had the spare cash. Being able to get it interest free and pay it off over 10 years, I'm in."
Interest free makes a difference on a battery of halving the cycle cost cents per kilowatt hour. It's half.
That's
Really?
If
great.
we're taking the money out of the mortgage, it's twice as expensive. So 30% of people are renting, 30% of people own their house, 30% of people still owe the bank money. So if we're borrowing the money out of the mortgage, batteries still unaffordable for a lot of people. So those interest-free loans, 15 grand's a magic number, can get a heat pump and a battery in there, maybe some solar. It's absolutely a game changer. How many people in New South Wales? 6, 7 million people, 8 million people?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So massive opportunity for people in New South Wales. Of course, WA has had $10,000 interest-free loans since the start of the scheme. Similar kind of income criteria. And yeah, absolutely, that made that the best state in terms of ROI for a battery. And New South Wales has backed that up, and this will absolutely kicks the battery rebate providers and solar installers and so on, keep them going for a long time. That's a huge
Yeah, that's
change
awesome.
to the economics.
It is, and the New South Wales government has put nearly, I think it was 400 and something thousand into the kitty to support this program. Works out about 40,000 people who they think will be eligible. So it won't hit all 8 million. It's going to hit those most in need. But interestingly,
So we need to get cracking. If you're eligible, we need to get cracking.
you do need to get cracking. Like a lot of these programs, it won't last forever. It'll move pretty quickly, I would say. The finance part of the scheme is up and running already, and it is worth noting that although our eyes, we've got solar and battery lenses in our glasses.
Solar colored glasses on.
Yeah, it tends to be all we think about. But the great thing is the government has opened this up to induction cooktops, efficient air conditioners, efficient DC ceiling fans, heat pumps.
Which does sort of mean the funds will go quicker, right?
It potentially does. It potentially does. But I was
They're gonna
talking to
do
someone the
better.
other day about it, and they were saying, look, for someone who doesn't have a whole lot of money, or indeed can't pay back $15,000, because not everyone can, especially low income owners. If they just want to borrow a few $1,000 to put a better air conditioner in than the old clunker that's hanging out the window, they can
Or
do
what's
that.
not there.
Or
A
there's
lot
not
of
there.
air
right?
conditioners don't do heating, Nige.
No, that's right. That's right. So they can upgrade their air conditioner to increase their comfort and save some money, or they can do double glazing. There's a whole heap of things that they can do. So they've gone really broad brush. Also really love that it's available to renters. There's, you got to jump through some hoops and you've got to get everyone's approval, but, it's available to renters.
That's just awesome too. I mean,
Yeah.
most schemes otherwise aren't available to renters. So one that is stepping outside the box, and I'm sure there was a lot of difficulty in actually navigating that for everybody.
Indeed. And, full credit to the New South Wales government for rolling us out. We've got to get through some of the detail and we've got to get everyone up to speed, and we're pumping the info out as quick as we can get it. And, of course, the scheme providers have got to now, kick into gear. We had some of them on the webinar as well. So,
interestingly, Nige, so New South Wales is one of the worst performing heat pump states in Australia.
Really?
So terrible result of having a minimum contribution of $33 a couple of years ago meant that there was a lot of rubbish installed, a lot of heat pump needed to be taken out, and then plumbers hate them because they don't work and customers are unhappy and so on and so forth, which has really damaged the heat pump industry as a whole in New South Wales. And year to date, they've only installed literally 2,500 heat pumps, which is terrible.
Really?
Yep.
How do you track how many heat pumps are installed? Is it STCs as well?
CER data, yeah.
CER, okay, yeah.
Yep, so jump on the
Smart Energy Council. Smart Energy Council members above a certain level get access to that data as part of their membership.
Yeah.
We just upgraded our data package and it shows it. And you can see the proliferation. I mean, the rise of heat pumps is profound. But I hadn't dug in
New South Wales.
Except in New South Wales. Well, for what it's worth, my 18-year-old did he's a plumber. He's in his second and a half or third year now. Did his first heat pump install the other day. His boss hates them. Darren really doesn't want to do them, but customer insisted and they actually did one. He very proudly sent me a photo and said, "Look, Dad, I did my first one. Aren't you proud of me? Good job, son." So that was nice.
Interesting.
What else is going on?
In touch with his boss, Nige, so I can word him up.
Yeah, trust me, Carl, there's been conversations. Records. There's more records coming. We talked, there was a great new report that came out that showed that by the end of 2025, so only a few months ago now, the world exceeded 3 terawatt hours of installed solar. That represents somewhere around 30% of the world's 9 terawatt hours of generation.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? I think it was 32%. Only 9% of energy, of course, because, we're not there all the time with solar. But to be at more than 30% of the world's generation, I just felt like, getting that graph and bonking Pauline Hanson over the head with it and going, what part of this doesn't make sense to you?
Sorry,
but anyway, there you go.
Pauline Hanson, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure.
Bonking her over the
yeah. It didn't come out the right way, Nige.
Right. It's you and me. Last week it was you with your sister. This week it's me. Good Lord.
I don't know if you guys saw, obviously Pauline's press release and the we'll just say drama around that. But I've seen some very excellent memes, including one from the Climate Council. With the text changed out for "I also opposed government subsidies for renewable while I took one to install solar panels on my roof." That's behind right. Pauline, which I just thought
she sure did. Yeah, I was in the press club the week before listening to, I mentioned that in the last episode actually when we interviewed David, but they mentioned that Pauline was coming, so I tried to watch the whole thing, couldn't do it. I watched most of it and the memes have been more fun, but a good record, and 3 terawatt hours of solar installed. Interestingly, 4 years earlier it was 1 terawatt hour. It took the humanity of the entire
long time for the first one,
all of humankind to get to 1 terawatt of solar deployed 4 years ago. Then it took 2 years to go to 2 terawatt hours, and then not even 2 years later to get to 3 terawatt hours. So there were signs that the market's cooling a little bit, which we know, but huge strides being made. Also, more records being set. There was two new records over the last few days about the amount of storage being deployed into the market in Australia. Apparently, a whole lot of new batteries have come online, and they've been testing and dumping massive amounts of gigawatt hours into the marketplace. So really starting to ramp up now in some of that large scale stuff. On the flip side, we had a wind drought in South Australia for a few days. So as Carl mentioned, the price of energy kicked up because they had to put gas generation back into the mix to fill the gap. It's been pretty lousy weather.
Network rates were like 22 cents a kilowatt hour. Outrageous, Nigel.
Yep, outrageous.
Crazy.
And of course, everyone's talking.
Speaking of the fluctuation, yeah, we've had. I've certainly been talking non-stop to people about how much the electricity rates have changed. Everyone's gotten their letters from their retailers. Daily supply charge is nutty. All around $1.60 here in South Australia from what I've seen.
I know, it's like so outrageous. We spent $10,000, which we took out of the mortgage. That costs $5 a day. But when the supply charge goes up by 60 cents, we're outraged.
I think it's frustrating for people who've made the investment or wanting to make the investment to get rid of as much of their electricity bill a year as they possibly can. And they've made their peace with the fact that they have to spend, $400 a year on a daily supply charge. Maybe they have to buy a little bit of power in during the pits of winter. And they've made their peace with that. And then the goalposts get shifted again. And especially with the frustration of how low the feed-in tariff has gotten. And I've got a lot of customers who have a 0-cent feed-in tariff as of this latest lot of bills, or latest lots of rates rather. And I just think it's frustrating for people who've, made the decision and done the right thing and they want their energy independence. And of course, they're still better off with the system. It's still a great idea for them, but it's just the never-ending shifting of those goalposts. It's frustrating. It's fair enough that people would be pissed off.
What's frustrating to me, particularly in South Australia, is that shoulder rate's decreased from 27 cents down to 14. So if I look at my cost of generation, say I've got my 27 kilowatts of panels, I've got my couple of Fronius Simos in the garage, 20 grand's worth of gear on the roof there, that money out of my mortgage cost me 26 cents a kilowatt hour, and yet I could have bought it from the grid for half that. I'm pissed.
Yeah, but are you buying all your power in the middle of the day? I know you are, Carl, because you're a freak, but most people, everyone else on the planet,
doing stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone else is wanting to use it when it's bloody 56 cents or whatever the hell. Anyway, all of this to say.
Finn's got a great article about that. It's called Using a Timer.
Sure, and that helps with some things. There's lots of things that it helps with, your air cons, your dishwashers, your whatever else. But then you get home and you just you want to cook and you want to, you want to live your life.
Meaningful amount of power though. It uses like a kilowatt hour.
I've had the heater on this week. It's been too cold. Sitting in my south-facing office going, I don't care. I'm just putting the heater on. I'm going to buy some energy. But I did switch retailers. I got off my backside on the weekend. Speaking of, I've just pulled up the rates. $1.81 for my daily charge.
I think a lot of people are blaming the 3 free hours of power for the hike in the daily supply charge as well. Whether that's true or not.
I've got 50 kilowatt hours for free out of my new retailer, which I'm going to take full advantage of to try and offset the $1.81. So I'll be filling up the bike, filling up the hot water, filling up my batteries with everything I can do. And just for reference, the peak rate's 60 cents, the off-peak is 30, the shoulder is 55.
Wow, that shoulder's expensive, mate.
Yep.
Jess must be really having cartwheels down there. She's 40 cents a kilowatt hour cheaper.
Yep.
She should buy an electric car.
2 cents.
I'm working on it, but it's tricky,
2
right?
cents for my exports, though.
That time of day you're running on your solar anyway, right? For the vast majority,
it's you have sun in the middle of South Australia,
huh? What?
We don't have any sun this time of year, Jess.
Well, we get a little bit. It gets a little bit overcast here in Adelaide.
I've got 1.15 or 1,053 kilowatt hours from OVO for $28.
Amazing.
2 cents a
Amazing.
kilowatt hour. Thanks for
Have we got much left on the itinerary, or should we bring our very
No, I
patient?
was just thinking our guest has been quietly sitting there,
Oh, actually, just before we
rolling his
get to our
eyes at
guest,
us at this ludicrousness. Go on,
we
Carl.
should say a prayer for the 45 people that have drowned in France while they're involved in this 40-degree heat wave.
Oh goodness, what?
They've drowned.
Yeah, it turns out they go swimming because it's hot, and they drown because they can't swim.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible news.
And there's a horrific heat wave going in the UK too. It's 34 degrees there.
Well, I must admit, I did pick up on the fact that ENF, who run all the nuclear generation, have shut down or reduced the output of 57 nuclear generators in France because of the heat wave, because they were going to basically boil the rivers and kill everything in the rivers. And I was going to whack Pauline Hanson over the head with that one as well, and go, didn't see that coming, and yeah, that'll never happen in Australia. We never have heat waves here. That'll mean that we'll cook all the rivers to the people in the bush who they love so much and who are relying on her, and they're going to whack a nuclear generator out there, dig up their backyard, and then cook their rivers for them. Great plan, Pauline. Great plan. As usual, we always manage to find fantastic guests, and Abhishek is here from GoodWe. Abhishek is a solutions engineer. He's well known to everyone in the industry because he has bounced around for a long, long time. He's one of the nicest people in solar. Abhishek, welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nige, for having me here. It's wonderful to meet you guys.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Let's start from the beginning. You're well known to a lot of people, well loved by many, many people in the industry because you've been around for a long time. What's your solar story? I don't know that I've ever actually asked you that. Where did you start? What have you done? How did you end up where you are today?
So I'm basically an electronics engineer. So I worked in small startups, creating small projects and everything. And then suddenly I got an opportunity to join Solex as their tech support and after sales engineer. And that's where I started my solar journey. And from Solex, I moved to Fox in the early days when they were establishing the company. And then I moved to a company called Motherson or SMR Automotive down in Lonsdale in Adelaide. They wanted to start. Yeah, so they wanted to start their own solar division and manufacture inverters locally. So I was working for 4 years there, worked in their, the inverter section, designed a grid tie and a hybrid inverter locally. But unfortunately, the management had a different idea. They wanted to stay in automotive. So they thought, okay, Abby, you're very good with this stuff. You're good in project management and everything. So they put me in automotive. So I was in the last 2 years in Motherson. I was in the exciting world of automotives. So you name a company, I think I've done 1 or 2 projects, or at least spoken with colleagues who worked on projects in that company. Then I thought, okay, I want to come back to solar. I love solar. I don't want to stay in that side of the business. So
it gets its claws into you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what sort of things were you doing in the automotive industry, Abhishek?
Well, personally, I had, let's say, for example, I can't really reveal a lot of details, but the ones that I can reveal is, for example, the last project I worked on was actually a DC-DC battery charger for your 4-wheel drives, right? And then we've got a few trailer tow modules for Toyota, and most of my customers are US based. So for Toyota USA for your RAV4, and if you ever one good thing is if you ever go and drive a Mazda CX-90 in the US, right? And if you find an illuminated badge saying Mazda CX-90, you can be assured it was actually designed here in Melbourne.
So cool.
Right? Yeah. So I was the project manager for that.
The automotive industry is actually an amazing foundation for engineering. I came from automotive engineering as well. Worked for a company who'd made parts for Ford and Toyota and Holden and a whole bunch of others.
We should start a club, Nige.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the aerospace part, but
aerospace, yeah.
I think he said automotive. I don't think he said aerospace.
Aerospace. I wish I'd been in aerospace.
Well,
aerospace is like automotive, except the tolerances for everything are much, much bigger.
That's right.
Yeah,
the aeroplanes are shit next to cars.
Yeah. And so, Abhi, you found your way back home. You came back to solar, which is awesome.
correct. Correct.
I realised I hadn't even looked at what your title was before. I think I gave you a hug the last time I saw you. It said, "Oh, it's great to see you again, mate." Solutions engineer. What do you do as a solutions engineer?
Yeah. So what we do is all pre-sales designing. So for example, customers come to me and ask me, "Yep, I have a two-phase property. My customer needs, for example, 100 kilowatt of batteries, right? What can I do? What are my options?" Right. So we have other commercial projects where they come to us. For example, today I had a project where one gentleman asked me, I want to install 270 kilowatt of solar, you know, and 100 kilowatt of batteries. Give me my options. I want to keep my costs low. So we don't know the costs, but we do have, a rough feeling of, for example, a hybrid inverter would cost more than a grid tie. So
And then they
we
tell
put
you that they want some of that solar on a shed that's 100 meters away from the meter
exactly,
box, and
exactly,
they don't want a trench, and
exactly.
And the incoming mains is 25 mil.
Correct, correct, correct. So I'm the guy who has to deliver the bad news in a nice way to say, sorry guys,
oh,
physically not possible.
mate, yeah.
Yeah, and
After
then
you,
they
you
go, they
say, I'll
try
go feed my
something.
unicorn first, and then we'll come back
Yeah,
and we'll figure out what to do here. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct,
So
correct,
your job is to help navigate through your
exactly.
product selections to try and pick the
Yeah,
best solution, right?
yeah. So that's one side of the job. The other
Yep.
side, what I do is I go and see what can we add to our existing inverters. What would be the the next generation of inverters that
The
customers
ideas,
would like.
man.
Yeah. So if you want things flying and happening, you let me know. I let the R&D know, but then they always push back, and I put them 10 stuff. They always push back on 8. They'll say, "Okay, we'll accept these two, or else Abby's going to be sad," and and that's how it gets improved.
Avi, I actually do have a question on that. It was something I was thinking about in the week leading up to this about sort
Is
of
this
like
a
the
quote you're
things.
doing that you
Huh?
want to work on, that you want Abby's help on?
Yeah, so, so the meter box is actually 200 meters away from the house. No, no, no.
Yeah.
So, no, I was thinking about how difficult it is for manufacturers to sort of ride the line between, like, we've got a lot of modular systems at the moment, and a lot of people are aiming to have the modules be bigger, which is great for like the sort of the space efficiency and the bang for buck and the ease of installation and all of these wonderful things. But do you feel like there's a bit of a compromise with design versatility? Like it sort of puts people in a spot where the building blocks are really big and it's hard to get, they sort of have to pay for a size that's a fair bit bigger than what they need, maybe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Just to get my bearings around the question, you're talking about the battery sizes, right? And modular and yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking about
yeah,
module sizes.
yeah.
Like
There
inverter
is.
sizes, I think like most people have a pretty good array that's like pretty versatile. Like, I think we've got that bit pretty sorted out, but the
Mhm.
battery module sizes is changing a fair bit lately, I think.
Yeah. No, 100%. There's a few factors that go into it. For example, series and parallel batteries, and what are technologies inside it. For example, a parallel battery is designed in such a way that it can actually operate independent, right? But then think about this. Do you want a one single battery that is up to, for example, we use high voltage batteries in Australia. Most of them are. Right. So you could either put smaller batteries like 2.5 kilowatts and stack them up. So we do have those batteries as well. So 8 or 9 are stacked to reach 450 volts. Or we put one battery and a DC-DC converter in it to ramp it up. So now that is where the compromise and the space and everything plays. How do we find a space to put a power electronics in there? And we are actually, let's say, GoodWe is at least actually stepping up voltages from 85 volts to 450 for a single phase, which means powertronics, they need heatsink, which needs space constraints.
And you don't want extra heat within your battery modules
Exactly.
and derating and yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's too cold outside, Jess.
Built-in heat pads.
Yeah. So stuff like today, right? Even if you have batteries without the heating module, they can discharge up to -20. So as soon as they start discharging, that will generate some heat, the DC-DC converter.
Yeah.
So it can regulate the internal temperature and start and work.
I can't help thinking that the furor over batteries in Australia underperforming in cool temperatures doesn't seem warranted, given that it's not a very frequent thing. I mean, there's always an edge case. There's always someone who lives in a cold place, and there's always bad weather. But generally speaking, it seems to me that getting rid of excess heat is a far bigger problem in Australia than worrying about, performance in extremely cold temperatures, right? Carl's got a view.
I'm thinking the charge and discharge rates are only about 0.5 C. Would that be right, Abhishek? So it doesn't really create a lot of heat in the cells themselves, yeah?
So for our current batteries, it's actually 1C rated.
Really?
5 and 8 kilowatt. Yeah.
That's amazing. Like, that's a big number.
Yeah. So that's 1C rated. But it's funny you told about this, because I had one complaint where customer said it's not discharging. Another one who said that he's getting 50 degree weather in summer. So I have both emails in my inbox right now. I'm responding to them. But
You told one guy to move to the other place, yeah?
Yeah, probably.
And of course, I was talking about this in the practical sense, in the real world. A friend said to me, I've got a quote on a system, and I've got a quote on a system for my house. He's in WA, so he said, they've recommended a fairly small inverter to get around the restrictions that they'll put on me for exports. But I need a fair bit of power. And I went, a 5 kilowatt inverter on a battery that big, you should be putting more solar on there probably. But of course, you're going to be limited in how much energy you can put into it. And, I'm now looking at 3 hours of free power going, I'm really glad I got 14 kilowatts of inverter capacity on my battery. I can slam that battery, right? I can slam it. I can suck it up as quick as possible. I can discharge it if I need to optimize for a VPP. So there's these really interesting trade-offs between price and power level and temperature and all these other things.
Melting the pole fuse.
I was just thinking, it's not amazing for the equipment to be smashing it though, Nige, is it?
No.
He doesn't mean that like actually smashing it. He's, it's a figurative term.
Well, that bit
You're mansplaining again, Carl. Come on. Carl, listeners, Carl
to let everyone in on the background
today.
of
You
this,
just demonstrated it for us in real time. You're right. I'm not gonna hit it, but I tell you what, when we played around with the settings in my system last week and go, let's try this 11 till 2 caper and let's whack the batteries, and my batteries have been low because the weather's been terrible, and they just both went both 7 kilowatt inverters went right up, and it started trying to pull 14 kilowatts and fill them up. But of course, that was only for a while, and then they start tapering down as the capacity comes up. So, interesting. So, Abhi, this is your life, right? This is your life, is dancing around all these technical challenges, all these compromises that you've got to just find. You've got to navigate your way through for people. What's new? What's coming down the pipe for GoodWe? What have you got that's exciting that you're involved with that's going to address some of these challenges for the market?
Yeah. So the first and foremost thing is I'm not sure if there's a lot of places in Australia with this challenge. So we've experienced that, like for example, in Tasmania, if you have an existing 10 kilowatt inverter and if you want to AC couple a hybrid inverter, even without solar, right, it still counts as an additional inverter. So they don't give you the permission. So what GoodWe is doing is we are bringing out our exclusive AC coupled ESA. So it's the same all-in-one inverter without any solar inputs.
Right.
And we're going to put in some extra meters in there. Everything comes with the box, so customers don't have to buy anything separately.
So it's a bolt-on AC coupled solution.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
Using your standard form factor and other products that people are familiar with, presumably.
Correct.
Nice.
There'll be
That's good.
no
The market's liking AC coupled, I think.
Yeah.
It doesn't suit every application, but Carl hates it, doesn't he?
Carl's stupid. Just, throw away the existing 10 kilowatt inverter, plug the panels into the new rig and play on.
I like the way you think, Carl. I would do that the same way.
You would say that, Avi.
I know. I know.
At the end of the day, I didn't.
He's the smartest guy on the show, Abby.
I didn't quite get it, but someone said to me, "Oh, look, the reason why they're doing this is because they don't have to do the CSIP stuff for an AC coupled battery." And I'm like, course, because CSIP's still an absolute nightmare. So, yeah, turns out there was good method behind that madness. But if we...
Doesn't seem like a very good long-term solution.
It's not a good long-term solution. I
that
believe that
decision
they're closing
on
that
that.
door and stopping that as being a thing, and you've got to make any new battery CSIP compliant anyway. So, yeah, that loophole gets closed. But anyway, here we are.
You
Here we
know,
are.
one thing with GoodWe, if you put a hybrid inverters, you can have the existing inverter on the backup, and you enable microgrid, so it'll do frequency shifting and control that inverter. And the reason why I'm telling you this is now that is compatible with CSIP. So if you set the ESA to export 0, it's going to frequency shift the backup line and then cut off the other inverter from
That's
producing
impressive,
anything.
mate.
It is. And
Yeah.
so will that get you
That's
through?
impressive.
Does that get
Yeah.
you through the WA regulations as well?
Yes, yes.
Oh, wild, man. Wild.
Yeah, I've checked.
they're the-
Synergy
they're the
accepted
most-
it too.
Wow, because that's the most complicated sort of market for CSIP, right?
Yeah,
They demand whole system control, old
Correct.
systems, new systems, everything else for their CSIP 1.67 or whatever it is.
I think
Abhishek,
it's a good thing. It's how it should be. Like, right? Like, you know, there's like that's what the good players in the market should be doing. You shouldn't be in a position where you feel like you need to chuck out really good quality existing kit, which maybe you've installed for a very specific reason, or, you know, especially the ecosystem side of things. Like if you've got a very good inverter, and then you've got the EV charger for that inverter there, so you can do your surplus solar charging, right? And then you want to add your battery, and you're just feeling like you're stuck in this little teeny tiny pigeonhole. I think that's right, that it can, you know, do the grid forming, and it can, like, that. It's just what it should be, right?
Has that frequency shifting got resolution on particular brands of inverter, or it just has to be fairly
agnostic.
rough?
It can be any brand on the backup.
Yeah.
As long as the inverter size, the existing one, cannot be bigger than the GoodWe ESA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it only has to shift it by like half a hertz for it to boot it off altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
Sweet.
you guys are going deep.
Can you
I
do
love it.
multiple inverters? Like if a customer
Yes.
has two
The-
inverters
correct.
there already, that's good.
The total capacity again shouldn't exceed. For example, on a 10 kilowatt ASA, I can have two 5 kilowatts. I'm
Do you
actually
have
going
to-
to test that out at my house.
Do you have to re-register the product to do like an AC coupled version because you're taking something physically out of the box? That's annoying. That's expensive and annoying and time
Through the
consuming.
product
Yeah.
approval process.
Brown paper bags to the CEC will get that sorted for you, Abby.
But then
Yeah.
but you have to do it for every size configuration as well, right?
Yeah, so how it works is the lab tests for the biggest configuration. All right, and as long as the hardware underneath uses the same PCBAs and everything else, they'll put everything in a single test report, then they'll give it to
Okay.
us.
Right.
But
That's good at
CEC
least.
wants us to list each and every inverter.
Joyful.
Yeah, so we have to list that.
Right. We do need rules and regulations and product listings and everything else. It's true to say.
Except in New South Wales, yeah, it's like the
What do you mean?
What?
New South Wales. Like you had no inspections or anything. People just do whatever the hell they want there, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's different. Inspections are different. I think the only place that does that well is Victoria, right? Nowhere else is really doing a
100%.
good job of it.
100% inspections. Yeah. I'm conscious of time. We've actually we've got loads more to chat about, but we do need to. You know, Arby's here from GoodWe, which is exciting. But also in the background, I think Alex Carey's got a message for us.
G'day, it's Alex Carey here. The new GoodWe ESA home battery is here, and it's a game changer with leading performance and safety features. The GoodWe ESA series is available now. Visit goodwe.com.au for more information.
Okay, we're at the correspondent portion for the Just Another Solar podcast that we're cobbling together as per usual. I'm here with Alex Carey from my hometown of Adelaide.
Nice.
Incredibly well-respected wicketkeeper, of course. When I told my mum that I was seeing you today, she was over the moon. Thank you so much for joining us and being an ambassador for GoodWe. I'd like to hear a bit about your solar journey.
Yeah. It's great to hear you from Adelaide. That's a great start. Yeah. Look, I guess mentioning before, I want to play my role in climate change and having an impact on and what I can do in the environment. And I guess for me, solar's a pretty simple way to do that. And
No-brainer, right?
It's a no-brainer. I feel like it's all moving in that direction. And to be aligned with GoodWe and the best product is very exciting. But yeah, I think as a cricketer, you do experience lots of parts of the world, and places are getting hotter and hotter, and other places are getting wetter and wetter, and to play a small role in that and getting my home and I guess my footprint and reducing that as much as possible is it excites me. I've got 2 young kids. Hopefully, I can set the future up for them a little bit, and that's probably the journey and the vision I see, and then hopefully it just grows and grows from there.
That's beautiful. I love that. There's a bit of a crossover between cricketers and the solar industry. Is it like part of the contract, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess we're always out in the sun, so we love the sun. We love the sun energy, and I guess solar just makes sense, right? But no, look, I guess the people here at GoodWe have been amazing, and that's made it so easy and so fun. But yeah, there is a little weird cricket and solar setup going on.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Do you live by your app, or are you a bit set and forget? Are the kids allowed to turn the lights on in your house?
I'm probably about a month away from having it all app, and I've got the panels going on at home as we speak. The battery's about to go in, and then I think I'm about to get addicted to the app. So no, I have seen it, and speaking to the other team members here, it's what they live on. I think it's Instagram's taken the back seat. It's now the solar app.
Yeah, definitely. People do. It's like at the barbecue, and you're sort of having your little measuring competition with the neighbours and the cousins and whatever. My last one is, do you have solar people can be a bit of a superstitious bunch. Do you have a bit of a ritual yourself?
Yeah, I'm superstitious. Look, I guess from a cricketing sense, I have routines, which sometimes might be superstitions. So, I've got to be a little bit careful there. I think as I've got a little bit older, I've moved out of having to do things, but yeah, I certainly have my little rituals and superstitions that I live by. Yeah.
You don't want to leave it to chance, do you?
No, you don't.
Thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your day, mate.
Thanks for having me. Cheers.
Well, not only did we hear a message from Alex Carey, but we also got to hear from Jess, who bumped into Alex Carey in Sydney the other week. Did a great job on the interview, Jess. Who's it, your mum you were talking about? Who's a big fan?
Yeah. When I told my mum that I got to meet Alex Carey, she's like, do you know who that is?
Did you get a selfie with him or what?
I did. And she was like, she asked me a million questions. What was he like? What was it? But he was lovely.
Did you hook her up with his phone number or what?
Oh, Alex was a good sport. That felt like pushing it, I think.
Alex is such a lovely guy.
So lovely.
He's just a really, really lovely guy. And he's been great for GoodWe, I think. He's been out there batting away for GoodWe. Thanks, GoodWe, by the way. Great supporter of our show for ages and ages and ages. We really, really appreciate it. It was great to get a chance to chat to Alex and hear the latest messages from our sponsor, who we really, really appreciate. Back to you, Abhi. You've talked about some of the stuff that's coming, but what else is coming down the pipeline for you guys?
We are also increasing the battery capacity. So we are going to be bringing out the 6 and 9 kilowatt batteries. So now the ESA stack, instead of 48 kilowatt hour, you can take 54 on the single phase.
Right. So stackable, so still flexible. You can choose whatever you want, but larger module sizes.
Correct.
Abby, can I do something a bit curly? Can I be a little bit spicy?
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the nickname of like a SIG clone? Right, a lot of people are calling a lot of products SIG clones. How do you feel about that?
Good question. Well, if I have to be truthful, right, it's exactly, I think, the history goes where this kind of form factor, the battery and the inverter, was actually designed by Huawei.
Thank you.
All right.
Ooh.
Correct.
Good take. Very good take.
Correct. And when the team came out, I think most of them went to SIG, started a company there and worked, and then we had the rest of them move over. So what you see inside those inverters are actually could be existing, topologies modified into that form factor because those guys came over and people when they move R&D engineers especially, right, they like to work with their ideas, what they're familiar with, because it's something that they worked over 5-6 years. They've tested it. They've learned the hard way what not to do, which is the most important in R&D. And that is why they look the same. All right. But I'll take another spin to it, commercial wise. You take any technology life cycle, right? If we don't adapt in an environment which is highly competitive, like in solar, all right, we get lost behind. You take cars, you take anything, you'll see that trend. Early cars, they had, metallic, side rear view mirrors. And then suddenly when they all changed to plastic, everybody changed to plastic. And not far along, the S-Class had the first, like a panoramic screen. Now, name one car which doesn't have that. And one EV car which doesn't have display similar to a Tesla. So that is the commercial side of it as well.
This is a really interesting theme because I was chatting with someone the other day about this and how there are kind of different topological methods that are used in batteries, and some optimize for price, some optimize for performance, some optimize for flexibility. There's not one way to build a battery stack and all the technology, whether it's parallel or whether it's series or whatever else. There are pros and cons to all of them, and there are scale benefits that come once everyone starts heading down certain routes, because if everyone's going down this route, then the hardware's going to get cheaper. The technicians all understand it because everyone's come out of the same labs, and away you go. So, yeah, it's a really good question, Jess. But I think it really highlights the maturity that we're starting to see and the evolution that we're starting to see of these different topologies. So so Jess, you've asked that question. Did you get an answer that you were satisfied with?
I did. I agree. Like, I think one of those ones where, why fix what ain't broke? And like, there's not, it's this, everyone's copying each other, I think is a bit almost childish and like, inevitable. But I just think it's an interesting commentary. And there was a release of a different product that I saw in Sydney that a lot of people were calling a Tesla clone instead, right? Which is just like one of those things, right? Where, well, of course, people would be doing what's working. So, just one of those things.
Hey, Abby, I've got a technical question for you.
Yeah.
So if I have
Is it about circuit breakers, Carl?
It is. It is, yeah. So, Abby, if I've got a 10 kilowatt hybrid, does it need a 50 amp circuit breaker or a 63?
Good question. 63.
Thank you. It's like, okay.
You can stay, Avi.
Yeah, you can stay, mate. Definitely, you can stay. So I reckon 50% of the stuff that's out there's got the wrong circuit breaker on it.
Yeah.
Why?
50 amps isn't enough headroom when you put it in a board.
Headroom. Need more headroom.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, the inverter can make 45, 46, but because it can grid charge for 3 hours, I can still pop that circuit breaker because it's sitting next to a whole heap of its mates in the board, and it needs to have an appropriate derating factor for that.
Yep. So there's derating, and of course there's the lag. I had a great little thing pop up the other day on my reels the other day about why a 10 amp breaker won't pop at 10 amps.
Yeah.
And reminding me about the different lag curves and different behavior of different devices, and of course the issue of switchboard heat and switchboard load and everything else that's impacting on the behavior of circuit breakers. It's not as simple as just whacking a breaker in.
Yep. And of course that means that you've got to put cable in there to suit 63 amps as well, not 50.
Correct.
Of course. So what else is coming out of the lab, Arby? What else have you managed to extract out of HQ to solve the problems for Australian customers?
Well, on the residential, I think that's all that's coming immediately.
Yep.
So we've
EV
got
charger stuff? Anything V2X-y?
Not immediate release. We are looking at some EV chargers next year. And it's a bit at a very early stage at the moment for me to
Q5,
yeah.
understood. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So that's where we are. But I can touch base on some of our commercial inverter range.
Oh, nice. Because
Yes.
you guys, I was blown away when I was in China and hanging out with your team over there. I was blown away at some of the commercial stuff that you were doing, and you guys are really, really strong in that. What do you got coming for Australia?
Well, currently we have the grid tie inverters GT 800. I think 100 to 125 kilowatt. We've got that already. It's becoming popular, this one. And then on the hybrids, we have currently our ET 80 to 100 kilowatt hybrid that work with our cabinets. So we've got actually two cabinets, but they come in like, let's say 4 to 6 model numbers. This is one cabinet which is 112 kilowatt, and we remove a battery. We release a model number saying that a second one, which is BAT 100. We removed another battery, BAT 90 and BAT 60. So we've got 4 models of the same cabinet. Then we've got a BAT 208 kilowatt also, which is the biggest DC coupled cabinet. Now this ET inverter, it has actually 2 battery ports. So each one can take 2 batteries each. So we're talking about 800 kilowatt of storage on a single inverter.
Phew.
Yeah, and imagine you can put 15 of them in parallel as well on a site.
Is that all?
Only
Yeah.
15, each with 2 battery banks. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Megawatt hours.
Next
Well,
minute, I need
yes.
a block next door.
How many MCGs
Yeah.
do we need to get through to?
Just 12 megawatts. Just don't, it's thank God, the government didn't release the home battery scheme for these inverters, or I'm sure all of them will have 5 kilowatt of solar panels.
That'd be perfect.
And then, yeah.
You're so right.
And if that was with you, Nigel, you'll try to charge them off your free period as well, right?
Yeah,
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. They'll all be charging.
That's a ticket.
3
I
hours.
want
Do
to
you
charge
have-
my 5
Yeah.
megawatt hour battery in 3 hours. Thanks.
You probably don't, because you sort of like the better brands in our market tend to attract the better installers. But like, I can't imagine if you get an email from somebody who's saying to you, like, here's the design I have in mind: 5 kilowatts worth of solar, 5 kilowatt inverter, 100 kilowatt hours worth of battery. And like, what do you just reply? Like, no? Like,
Well, I do try to be polite there and say, look, point out the disadvantages. But my concern is it's not the installers. If they reach out, I can tell them directly, guys, look, this is going to be the drawback. Your customer comes back to you, we can't help. But what I'm having is I'm active in our solar installers page and some of the end users page. So they see me and read my profile, says GoodWe. So they send me a message directly. Yep, my installer quoted me a 5 kilowatt inverter with a 48 kilowatt hour battery. Is it good? Will it give me the best returns? And now I'm stuck where I can't answer anyway.
yeah.
So
We
that
talked
is-
about this a
so,
fair
yeah.
bit. Like,
I've
I
got
agree.
an answer for you there, Abhishek.
I think I know what it is.
No, the answer is actually
Just
most
Go.
people don't
Here's
use
Carl's
more-
mobile number.
most
You can
people
call him
don't use
directly.
mansplaining.
Yeah, but most people don't use more than 5 kilowatts on very many things, and 5 kilowatts actually does a lot. And the stuff that's between 5 and 10 isn't actually that much of it, and it's not actually the end of the world.
A lot of people
No,
have
yeah,
7 kilowatt air
100.
conditioners, Carl. Like a lot.
But don't use 7 kilowatts, right? So 7 kilowatt aircon uses a quarter of that.
All right, we should stop this here. We should.
Less than
But-
2.
good.
On Carl's point, right? Just on the storage side, we've been trying to advocate this. For a house with just 4 members, just mom, dad, and 2 kids, 15 to 30 kilowatt of storage is enough, depending upon your area. That
Heaps.
is. For example, Dean's in Gold Coast, so he's installed just 24 kilowatt of solar, so 24 kilowatt of battery
Yep.
with 10 kilowatt of inverter. So he's going around, and when we do presentation, he shows us data to see that he's self-sufficient. He's only used like 2 kilowatts
Yep.
in the last month or so. And this is Gold Coast through they had a week of just rains as well.
Well, I was going to say they get sun up there. Remarkable.
Well, my example should have been EV charger instead of air conditioner. But anyway, all of this to say, I think like a lot of people when they're getting these systems, they want to be in a position where they can use a little bit more than they currently do. Like, I am trying really hard to steer away from like, A, this is what you use on average, or B, this is what people use on average. Because, at the end of the day, I'd just rather, I don't want to overdo it, right? There's a sweet spot, there's some wriggle room, but I don't want people to feel like their system dictates their lives and how they live too much.
No one wants that. No
Well,
one
Carl
wants that.
wants that, I guess.
Oh,
but
look,
not
free
many
period,
people
right?
want that.
So bring on the 45 kilowatt inverter. I mean, that's the thing, right? I can get, well, I've had 3 days this week where I've ripped 100 kilowatt hours in that 3-hour window, and can't do that with any solar inverter. So, and it's free, and I can't do that with any battery because it's free, and I can't do it with any solar panels because it's free. So it's just free.
Wow.
Wary of time, but I did have one more for you if I can, Abby. We talked about earlier the New South Wales rebate, and like, well, not
interest-free
rebate,
loan-
sorry,
the
interest-free
interest-free
loan.
loan.
Sorry, it's a Friday afternoon. But do you feel like some of these schemes encourage people, like you're seeing people in your inbox, right, asking, am I getting a good deal? Like, is this the right thing for me? People are obviously pretty stressed about this. But do you think some of these schemes encourage people towards cheaper products because they feel like they can get like a bigger kilowatt hour size for the same money instead of getting a system that's like a good long-term product for them?
Look, there's always going to be both sides of this. It's purely up to perspective for that particular customer. Certain customers, they just go, like, for example, Nigel, your friend that you said, right? It's just for them, if it's a hard bargain, $1,000 or $2,000 difference is huge for them.
Sure.
For somebody like there's multiple earners in the family, mom and dad both are earning, well, $1,000, $2,000 is not a big deal.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to the personal preferences there.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
true.
well said, mate. Well said. That's a great bit of perspective. Got double income, no kids. Doesn't matter.
I've kind of been trying to proposition it as like if you're getting this help from the government, you should put it towards getting the best value. Like, sure, you could get sure, you could get a bigger system, but that's not actually valuable to you. The value is in the longevity or the support or the app being easy or, something along those lines, because they're pitching in to help with this, right? Like, it's not, you don't have to actually pay the total cost of a product that is a bit better quality. That's something I've been thinking a lot
100%.
about lately.
100%. One point you did miss out is choosing the right installer as well.
Totally. Very true. The good kit can't do what it needs to do if it's not
Yep.
set up for success.
The right gear with the incorrect person is going to give you problems as well.
I actually had a good chat with an old customer of mine who used to buy a lot of power walls off me, and he said that he'd added the GoodWe to his lineup because he had several hundred GoodWe systems out there in the field. And I said, well, what about the other big all-in-one, without mentioning any names? And he said, well, they don't have any support, mate. And I base my business on being able to support the product that I sell, and GoodWe's able to support everything that I've sold in the past, and there's no reason why they can't support it into the future, which is obviously a massive plug for GoodWe. So
I think Carl pumped up GoodWe's tires enough just there. I think
Oh,
I'm
look,
conscious.
at the end of the day, we aren't the people that decide what people in the solar industry buy. People in the solar industry buy based on the support that they get and how things actually work out for them in real life. So
yeah, it's relationships.
In real
Totally.
life, if it doesn't actually pan out as per the brochure, that's it, you're gone. So it turns out that there's a lot of people who have gone, and I'm seeing it in the forums. There's heaps of people, GoodWe. There's lots of people asking for GoodWe. It's competitive out there, and here we are.
So true. I'm watching the clock. We're going to have to wrap it up very, very soon. Abhi, I wanted to circle back to your commercial products because I've seen your commercial stuff in the flesh in numerous occasions. You've got, and I just want to check in. So what you've described with your new stuff that's ready to go in Australia now is what, it's new form function, it's new packages. Is that what you're telling us?
No,
New sizes and new combos. What is it exactly?
so what I've told you, Nigel, is our just a standard ones which are currently in the market.
Yep.
All right. So just battery cabinets, all the bats that I told you with different combination are just cabinet solutions. Comes with air cooled, fire extinguishers, and you name it, it's in there. And the hybrid inverter for those commercial
Heating
ranges.
pads.
Yeah, these ones are air conditioned, but we have a liquid cooled
Climate
AC
control.
cabinet.
Yep.
All right, so that is 125 kilowatt inverter built in with 261 kilowatt of storage. That is liquid cooled completely.
I saw some of them being built. Actually, there was a
Yeah.
whole row of massive row of them being built when I was lucky enough to get to visit. We are running out of time though, so we're going to have to wrap it up pretty quickly. I'm going to kick us off with a quick wrap up on a few things that I'm going to wrap up on three really cool things. Firstly, want to give a shout out to all the Aussie-made people who are out there. Dr. Renata Egan's popped up on my radar recently. The UNSW just finally got some really, really valuable, much-needed funding, which is awesome. So they're going to keep doing their amazing R&D, and Dr. Renata Egan is a legend. She's going to be our VIP guest at the Smart Installer Roadshows coming up in late July. We also had the boss up at QUT at their battery lab. We talked about that last week. I also had a great chat, amazing chat with the guys down at Deakin University. There's so much great innovation in Australia. In fact, I did a count in through our database today, and I reckon we're at close to 100 companies that we're going to have in a database who are doing something cool in Australia. So big shout out to the Aussie-made people. Speaking of Aussie-made, a huge shout out to my good friend Ed Darmanin. Ed owns an electric motorcycle. He's retired, and he went, I'm not going to live forever. I'm going to do the first lap of Australia on an electric motorcycle. Never been done before. And he left 2 days ago. I went with my buddy to give him an escort from his home nearby at a very, very, very chilly morning at sort of 6:30 in the morning. We escorted him on his way. He's got 19,000 kilometres to go. And he's going to set his third record. In fact, he's already done Sydney to Perth. He's done Sydney to Forth. He's done Sydney to Perth. He's done Sydney to Darwin through the guts, dirt roads, the whole works. He's done Sydney to Cape Trib, and now he's going, bugger it, I'll do the whole country. I'll do a lap. Never been done before. Absolutely amazing tenacity.
So cool.
So cool. And sort of just telling the story about electric transport, about solar, about batteries, the entire way, meeting up with journalists, meeting up with people the whole way. There's a live map that he's got on his website, which I think is electromotoaustralia.com. You ping me if you want it, and you can actually track where he's going and give him a wave if you see him. The guy's about to do 19,000 Ks in 3 months in the saddle. He needs a cup of tea and a wave if you see him. So huge shout out.
I'll do a lap with you when I retire, Nige. You got 10 years.
Bingo. There you go, Carl. That would be colourful, if nothing else.
We'll do a lap.
Let's do a lap, Carl. Over to you, mate. While you've got the mic, how are you going to wrap up this episode for us?
I'm going to wrap up by saying that you're not going to see me next week, potentially the week after either.
Oh, where are you going?
I'm going to Tomorrowland. So,
you poor bastard.
I know, right? So, as it turns out, I said that I need to do that festival every 5 years. It's been 7 years, and I am going. So,
good job.
I'm out on the 8th, and I'm not back till the 30th. So,
You'll miss a couple of
I'll
shows.
miss a couple of shows and everyone will miss me. So you're going to have to see if you can drag Luke back by the hair, because Luke finished his chemo this week. So Luke's in great shape, great spirits, and so on and so forth, and he might even be able to give you an hour.
Oh, beautiful. I will follow up on that.
Let's hope,
because
cross my fingers that he can do that for you. Everyone will be keen as mustard to hear what it's like.
Well, I will hand the wheel back over in a moment if we can get Luke back on. That's great news. Will you enjoy that, Carl, and be safe and sensible?
Of course.
No mansplaining
to
anybody along the way. Abhi, what about you, mate? We give everyone an opportunity to wrap up the show. What do you do to unwind? How do you manage the pressure of work and life, and how do you balance all of that? What's your secret, man?
Well, there's no one secret. It depends upon the day. Like I have my dog next to me, and he knows exactly. Somehow he comes and asks me, nudges me to. Right now, as soon as I pointed at him, he started jumping at me. So I do that. Play some musical instruments, either some drums or something. Not your traditional drums. These are like Indian traditional drums.
Cool.
Depends. It's depending upon the week. If it's been a silent week, I actually go out and meet friends. But if it's been a week let's say, expo and everything, it's going to be a very silent weekend for me. Yeah.
I hear you. Good job, mate. A few hobbies up the sleeve. That's the way I like it like that too. I got multiple hobbies that I've got up the sleeve that I can draw on depending on my mood and depending on how my week's been. So I'm right there with you. Good on you.
Go on, mate. Show us the dog. Show us the dog.
Come here, Cosmo.
You want to see the dog?
Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
So good for the audio listeners.
So doggy.
Hello.
Nice. Cardi too.
Yeah. He had a fresh haircut.
Yeah.
And
It's
started shivering.
It's a good haircut. Is it a cavoodle?
He's a cavoodle, yeah. If I leave him, he just watches the like if I set him like this, and if I just work, he just watches the screen as if he's actually
He's helping.
Clearly.
Look at him.
He's got an intelligence on his head.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
Jess McPherson, what about you? What's your wrap up for the episode?
I'm excited I'm not sure if this will air before it starts, but I'm excited for next week. Adelaide Smart Energy Conference. Our little show here will be really good. I'm excited for our panel. Nigel, we're going to have to let anyone else get a word in, but I'm excited.
They've got a chance, Jess.
I'm excited for it. And our team did a little PD day last week, and which was pretty cool. We had a comedy hypnotist, which was very interesting, watching half of my coworkers doing the chicken dance and helping each other give birth, and it was very entertaining. But the big takeaway was we did, as you tend to do in these days, you do like some goal setting and some, that kind of thing. And we all had a really good, honest look at our commitments. And I found it really interesting just in the sense of I think we're very lucky in this industry to be surrounded by people who do go above and beyond. And seeing what everyone was happy to put forwards in terms of how as a business we would reach the sort of targets that we have in mind for the next financial year. We've got a very fun golf theme going and things like that. But I was just really, really taken back and impressed with everyone around me. And I just think it's such a wonderful thing for our industry as a whole, and hope some other people can carve some time out over this winter period to just reset and take stock and train your staff and rest and relax a little bit before we get back into the swing of things when the sun comes back out.
Nice. Team building's so important. We're in the middle of planning some team building stuff ourselves, actually, for a little bit in the future, and it's really, really important. Those days can be corny and awkward, but they're so good.
So
and
good.
So valuable, and you get to know know your colleagues and peers and learn things about people, and that all helps you work together better. And so apart from making a personal connection and getting a chance to recharge and have some fun together, you also get more productive out of it. So valuable. We are very well and truly out of time, though. Huge thank you to Abhi for joining us. A huge thank you to GoodWe for being our ongoing sponsor and supporter of the show. Look at that. Let's can I get a photo of that? Come on, Carl. Come back up. Come on, Abhi. There you go.
It gets a big shout out for 63 amps from me.
63 amps of power.
Just for the listener, I had no idea what Carl was going to ask, but statistically, it was going to be about circuit breakers. Like just
odds on. That's right.
Turns out the number one up that no one picks up.
That's right. I'm very excited to see everyone in Adelaide next week. If you are available, come along to the Adelaide Smart Energy Conference. It's going to be a great little show. Registrations are going through the roof, actually, so you better book a spot if you want to get in, because it's going to be full. There's lots of side events. There's lots of good things coming, lots of interesting things on the expo floor, so look forward to seeing everyone there. Tuesday, 30th of June. Give us a like, give us a shout out, give us a share. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Hey solar retailers, the GoodWe Rewards platform is back with $20 million in rewards available for you. Claim on every 5 and 8 kilowatt hour ESA battery module or ESA 30 kilowatt 60 kilowatt hour unit purchased from your distributor. Redeem your rewards on anything in our online catalogue, including Visa gift cards. Record, submit, get rewarded. Visit goodwerewards.com.au now.